Hello students. So we'll start with regulation of gene expression. We have completed translation. So before starting the further things, we need to understand the basics of. We talked about genetic code and silent features of it. Now we'll talk about. So what were the features? Let's just revise a little bit. So the features were genetic code features. First was that they are found in the form of triplet, like AUG, right? They are in total 64, out of which 61 code for amino acid and 3 are stop codon, right? Then the third point was that they are degenerate in nature. What does that mean? It means that more than one codon codes for a particular amino acid. Then next point was that they are universal. So there is no confusion. There are exceptions, but they are mostly universal. That means if AUG is coding for methionine, so it will code for methionine in most of the organisms. Then they are in a continuous form. That means no punctuations. So you will not write it like A U G U G U. So no comma or full stop. This is not required. It will be in A U G U G U, whatever it is. It will be in a continuous manner. And there was one more point that AUG not only codes for amino acid, but it's also initiator codon. So it starts the process of translation. So also it is also the start codon as well as codes for methionine. But the stop codons are are the ones which code for which actually give signals to stop the process, right? So this is about genetic code. Now I want to talk about the next topic of NCERT, that was mutation. So in mutation, we'll we'll talk about two kinds of mutation according to the book. One is point mutation and the other one is frame shift mutation, right? So point mutation and frame shift mutation. What is point mutation? So you must have studied in previous chapter, principles of genetics and inheritance, principal basis of genetics and of inheritance and variation, that GAG is the usual codon found in hemoglobin, right? Then, but what happens? GAG changes into GUG. So there is this particular base gets changed. This results into change the codon. So the codon change, if you go through the genetic code, the codon change will lead to the can lead to the change in amino acid. Why I am saying can? Because we just now talked about the degeneracy of genetic code. That means one codon, more than one codon can code for a particular amino acid. So there are chances that GAG and GUG both could have been coding for same amino acid. If that would have been the case, then the disease will not take place. But that's not the case. What happens is that GAG codes for glutamine and GUG codes for valine. So what happens is that this one codes for now this change in one base can change the amino acid, and this change in amino acids leads to a disease called sickle cell anemia. right? So this is about point mutation. So what I'm trying to say is point mutation is related to one base, change in one base, and it can be harmful, it can be ignored, and it can be there can be chances that it can lead to no change, because both the changes in the base are maybe leading to the same codon, same amino acid production. It can be ignored, and why I'm saying it can be ignored, because maybe the codon in which it is the change is taking place is not very important, or not a very big change, and not causing a problem to our body, and can be harmful or lethal also. Like in this case, it's harmful because it's causing us a disease. So this is called point mutation. Now, what is frame shift mutation? In the NCERT, you must have seen Ram has red cap, right? Now this is a sentence, like these are, let's say these are four sets of triplet codons, right? So now what's happening, if I include Ram has, I'm including B here, right? Red cap. So what will happen, the code will become R A M H A S B R E and D C A and P, and then so now you just saw the insertion of, now what I did I did the insertion. I inserted one base or one letter that led to the change in the whole sentence. So this is called insertion frame shift mutation. The frame has been changed. Now let's assume that this was coding for amino acid number 17 and this was coding for amino acid number 13. Now this is coding for amino acid number 1 and this is coding for amino acid number 2. Now 2 amino acids have been changed and they will change further also, because the frame is getting changed. So this is how the insertion led to the change in the frame of the codon coding for amino acid. This is about insertion. Now let's take example of deletion. So what I am doing is, so amino acid 17 and this is amino acid number 12, right? So what I am doing is I am just deleting one letter. So I am doing EDCAP. So I removed what? Red R from here. So what happened? Now the frame will be EDC and AP and whatever it will be. Now EDC is coding for codon number 20, and let's say here was, for example, A. Now this is coding for amino acid number 5. Again amino acids got changed. So again one deletion led to the change in frame of the sentence. So this is what is, so here I did deletion, and it can be insertion not only of one base or insertion or deletion of one base. It can be more than one, or it can lead to like this. So it will become 2 bases have been deleted. So what will become D, C, A and P. This is coding for amino acid number, let's say 21. So again the frame got changed. So this is called when we insert and that changes the frame shift and causes mutation, we call it frame shift insertion mutation. And when we delete, when bases get deleted and that causes mutation, we call it frame shift deletion mutation, right? So frame shift mutation can be of 2 types: insertion based and deletion based, right? So this is about mutation. Now those agents which are causing mutation are called mutagens, which are broadly of 2 types: physical and chemical. Physical means radiations I am talking about, and chemical means some chemical compounds like ETBr, ethidium bromide, right? So these can cause mutation in your body because they have the ability to enter inside the DNA and cause changes. So this is about mutation. Now let's talk about the regulation of DNA, right? So when we talk about regulation of DNA, regulation of gene expression basically, that means what we are trying to do is we are trying to maintain, like for example, one gene needs to be secreted at particular point. So how much secretion it will be secreting, and how much when it needs to stop, and whatever it is, this is all is included in regulation, right? So here we'll talk about lag operon, right? Now the lag operon is basically found in bacteria. So whenever the bacteria is usually dependent on glucose, right? But whenever it is when the glucose is not around, then it takes up lactose as a substitute. And how does it use it? We'll talk about it. So now when the glucose is sufficient and lactose is not required or not around, then the gene which is metabolizing lactose it gets stopped, and then again the normal glucose metabolism starts. Let me repeat it. Lag operon works here, and we'll talk about it in next video, right?